a lot. We were just discussing about the shortage in the rare earth magnet, how that issue is impacting the auto industry as a whole. And now we have reports suggesting that the Indian car dealerships are facing a record unsold inventory of over 50,000 crores. So let's deep dive more into that. And for this, let me welcome Vinkesh Gulati, auto expert and ex-president FADA, joining us on the show right now. Morning, Mr. Gulati, and thank you so much for your time. Firstly, wanted to have your take on this whole inventory mount up that we are seeing, because reports suggest that the dealership inventory is at a staggering 52,000 crores. That's the highest ever in terms of the numbers, though not in terms of the volumes. But is this a result of the OEMs pushing the supply to the dealerships despite a weak retail demand, what the numbers show?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. And yes, you're right on point, because things are not as great in the market, and the CM numbers had already informed or given the future prospect that this year will be a bit subdued. And if we see how the production or the manufacturing or the dispatches are going to the dealers, it's very clear that uh, even with the market being subdued, the production levels of the manufacturers have not taken those in consideration. So if you see, we had done some 3 lakh, around 3 lakh vehicle sale or registration in May, whereas the production has been around 3.5 lakh, which means clearly we have added around 35 to 40,000, taking into Telangana numbers also. And that is why FADA has given a bold number of 52 to 53 days of inventory in the system, which is a problem as of now. The coming period is not as great. We all know that auto retail is seasonal. It is affects sentiments, also affects, and this period of July, August, which is normally a rainy period when people don't want to buy vehicles, new vehicles, and all those things. And at this time, the entry into the month of June with 52, 53 days is very high, and that is what FADA in this May report has highlighted and requested all OEMs to consider tweaking the production level so that the inventory on the ground doesn't continue at the same level, because it will then hurt the dealer viability and the vehicle quality what we have to sell to the customers.
So how worrying, Vinkesh, do you think this could be from a dealer working capital standpoint, in terms of the numbers that it could actually amount to?
See, very frankly, we work at a very thin margin of 3 to 3.5%. And with the kind of interest, no doubt, RBI has supported us by reducing the repo rate. But still, we pay around 9 to 10% annual interest, which means around 1% per month. So we are sitting at a 52, 53 days inventory, which clearly shows that we are paying half of our margins to banks where the money is not being even utilized. So 1.5 to 1.6% of the interest is going out of the 3% margin, 3 to 3.5% margin, which means it's a big viability issue. And normally dealers are happy to carry such stocks, but just before festive. So if we were today in September, we would be happy with this 50 to 53 days stock, but not today, where the coming festive period where we see spike of sales, which goes around 1.5 times of an average or more, is still 2 months or 2.5 months down the line. And this all at a side time when there are so uncertainty. You have heard about rare earth materials, the war crisis. Yesterday, Iran, Israel is again picking up. All these sentiment issues also create an issue in the market. And vehicle purchase is normally a happy time if the sentiments are not as good, and if overall scenario in the market is not positive, the retails get affected more. And at this time, when all these external factors are forcing customers to not go out and buy a vehicle, such high inventory is not good for dealers, nor the system, or the full auto system also.
That point taken. So while that's on the inventory front, but beyond inventory pressures right now, there's also growing concern over rare earth supply chains, which is critical for EVs and hybrids. How severe is this situation as per you? What could be the impact on the overall auto pack?
Uh, See, it's a problem, no doubt. It's a big challenge. As per the news, we have around a month of production raw material for even EVs, and as you know, 50 to 53 days stock, which means another 2 months of stock at the dealership. So I don't see any immediate problem, a short-term problem on the retail front. No doubt the production will get hampered in a month or so because when the materials are not coming in, there'll be issues where they'll have to handle how to go ahead. But practically on the ground, we are still sorted till August end. And I am hopeful that this problem already US, China has solved. So slowly and steadily to the world also this will solve and we'll be back in track. And we should also consider India is still around what 4 to 5% of EV ratio as compared to the sales, which is not huge. But yes, even this rare earth material will create a problem for future manufacturing and affect the retails not in short term, but by September. But I feel 2 3 months, 2.5 months is a huge time to solve such an issue. And I'm hopeful there are a lot of things happening, discussions happening, and this will be solved maybe in a week or 15 days' time.
Lastly, Mr. Gulati, since you have been tracking the auto industry for so many years now, some reports are also suggesting that the companies are actively exploring alternatives like induction motor tech or magnet-free systems to reduce the dependence on the rare earth. Any thoughts here? Do you believe that for the Indian auto industry to develop this sort of a tech is possible?
See, if you remember the COVID semiconductor issues, at that time we didn't think that we'll be able to get into such a high capex industry. But today there are at least 3 to 5 companies which are working on it, and we are sure of that in maybe 2 to 3 years we'll be there. So this is an opportunity which we never thought of, that this can be the future requirement to support our auto, and it's just not supports auto, supports other industry also. I feel it's a very good opportunity for India, but to talk about it, that it can help us in short to medium term, I don't think so. We are on the right thinking because preparing for such a thing of creating a production capacity and then procuring, because the base rare material has to come from China or China controlled places. So I feel we are on the right track. Government and the manufacturers are thinking of finding out ways, maybe China plus country something, or start in India. Things are on the right direction, but it will not solve within 6 months to a year. It will take some more time, and I feel will help India. And this challenge will be a good opportunity to think on that ground and create one more industry category in India.
Vinkesh, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time today. On that note, we're going to take a very quick break right now. When we come back, we're going to be speaking with